So this is for first year B.Ed. Unit 1 notes on understanding the growth and development of the learner, lecture 4, and the topic is difference between the growth and the development. Let us see the difference between growth and development, okay, in today's class. Okay, so let me start. First I'll write down, these are the only notes, okay. So difference between growth and development. Okay, write down. Growth and development is one of the important studies for the teachers and parents. Growth is different from development, but both are correlated and one is dependent on the other. We can say that growth is part of development, which is limited in physical changes. Growth is physical changes, whereas development is overall development of the organism. The main difference between both are explained below. Over here, you all can take down the points. Okay, this is the growth, this is the development. Now let us see the meaning first. What do you mean by growth and development? Okay, growth is one of the part of the developmental process. In the strict sense, development in its quantitative aspects is termed as growth, whereas development implies overall changes in shape, form, or structure resulting in improved working or functioning. It indicates the change in the quality or character along with the quantitative aspect. Let us see the change in growth and development. Okay. Now growth is change of physical aspect of the organism. Growth is the change in shape, form, structure, size of the body, whereas development is overall changes and progressive changes of the organism, development in structural change and functional process of the body. Next, let us see the scope. Growth is cellular, development is organizational. Measurement. Growth can be measured accurately. Development is subjective interpretation of one's change. Next, let us see continuation. Growth stops at maturation, whereas development continues till death of the organism. Next is the part. Growth is the part of development. Development also includes growth. Whereas nature, growth is quantitative in nature, whereas development is qualitative in nature. Let us see the relation between growth and the development. Growth may or may not bring development. A child may grow in terms of weight by becoming fat, but his growth may not bring any functional improvement, qualitative change or development, you can say. Next is development is also possible without growth, as we see in the cases of some children who do not gain in terms of height, weight or size, but they do experience functional improvement or development in physical, social, emotional or intellectual aspects. Moving towards the next topic, that is principle of growth and development. You all can take down these notes. The changes brought about in the individual by the process of the growth and development tend to follow some well-defined principles. These are known as principles of growth and development. These principles are being described as below. First will be principle of continuity, that will be development follow continuity. It goes from womb to tomb and never chases. An individual starting his life from a tiny cell develops his body, mind and other aspects or his personality through a continuous stream of development in these various dimensions. Whereas second will be rate of growth and development is not uniform. Although development follow continuity at the rate of growth and development is not steady and uniform at all times. It proceeds more rapidly in the early years of life but slows down into later years of infancy. Again, at the down of puberty, there is So there is a sudden rise in the speed and growth and development, but it is not maintained for long. Therefore, at no stage the rate of growth and development shows steadiness. It rather takes place by fits and starts. So moving towards the next one, that is the principles of individual differences. According to the principle, there exist wide individual differences among children with respect to their growth and development in various dimensions. Each child grows at his own unique rate. Next is the uniformity of pattern. Although development does not proceed at a uniform rate and shows marked individual differences, yet it follows a definite sequence of pattern and somewhat uniformly in the offspring of a species. Let us see the example. All offspring of human beings began to grow from head downward. Similarly, the motor development and language development in all children seems to follow a definite sequence. Fifth point is development proceeds from general to specific responses. In all phases of child development, general activity precedes specific activity. His responses are of a general sort before they become specific. Next, let us see the example. The boy waves his arms in general random movement before he is capable of so specific a response as reaching. Similarly, when a newborn infant cries, the whole of the body is involved. With growth, the crying is limited to the vocal cords, eyes, etc. In language development, the child learns general words before specific. He uses the word daddy in greeting many men, and it is only afterwards that he uses it for his father. Next, let us see principle of integration. Principle of integration, where it is true that development proceeds from general to specific or from whole to parts, it is also seen that specific responses or part movement are combined in the later process of learning or development. The integration of whole and its part as well as of the specific and general responses that make a child develop satisfactorily in the various dimensions of his growth and development. Next, let us see the seventh part, that is the principle of interrelation. The growth and development in various dimensions like physical, mental, social, etc., and interrelated and interdependent growth and development in any one dimension affect the growth and development of the child in other dimension. Example: children with above average intelligence and generally found to possess above average physical and social development. The lack of growth in one dimension diminishes the bright possibility in other dimensions. That is why the child having poor physical development tend to regress in emotional, social, and intellectual development. Moving towards the eighth part, you all can take down these notes. Development is predictable. With the help of the rate of growth and development of a child, it is possible for us to predict a range within which his mature development is going to fall. Example: X-ray of the bones of the wrist of child will tell approximately what his ultimate size will be. Similarly, the knowledge of the present mental ability of the child will help in predicting his ultimate mental development. Next is principle of development mental direction. The principle point out two specific facts concerning the direction of the development. He says that development is cyclic, casual, as well as proximal. By cyclic casual development, he means that development proceeds in the direction of the longitudinal axis, head to foot. First, the child gains control over his head and arms, and then on his legs so that he can stand. According to the proximal distal tendency of the development, it proceeds from the center of the periphery. In the beginning, child exhibits its control over the large fundamental muscles, but afterwards, due to growth and development of smaller muscles, he can exhibit more movement that are refined. Example, control over fingers comes after the control over the arms and the hand. Next point, let us see. Development is a spiral and not linear. The child does not proceed straightly on the path of the development with a constant or steady pace. Actually, he makes advancement during a particular period but takes rest in the next following period to consolidate his development in advancing further. Therefore, he turns back and then moves forward again like a spiral. Here you all can see. First makes advance in this way, okay, then but moves back for consolidation, and then individuals start his growth and development from this point. Okay, you can take down these notes, very important. You can study them. This is the spiral development figure. Okay, next let us see the 11th one. Okay, you all can write down. Growth and development is joint product of both heredity and environment. Child at any stage of his growth and development is a joint product of both heredity and environment. The forces of heredity and environment directly or indirectly influences his growth and development in any dimensions at all times. So I hope you have understood all these notes. You all can take down. These are very important notes. Next, next part I will continue in the next lecture, that will be lecture 5, and that the topic will be on factors affecting growth and development. Okay, so you all can take down these notes and keep. Next notes will be on factors affecting growth and development and relation between development and learning. Okay, these two topics I will be covering. Okay, so I hope you have understood, and thanks for watching.